most cores being played.
I almost think that he still has to go for the Aghanim Scepter, in my opinion. I feel like the damage that you get from it is just too strong, and they don't really have the best way to deal with Ferrari right now, especially when he pops his BKB. He gets ruptured, he holds his ground. The rest of his team can just surround him, play the A team, and just wait. And IG are smoked up. They're going to get aggressive. They realize the type of advantage they have. They don't want to take a fight in the Roche Pit if they can help it, just because of the amount of AoE abilities that MVP have. And MVP erroneously believes that IG are going to walk into that Roche Pit, but IG are just completely content.
Waiting things out, Zeus ultimate being popped, and they definitely know that IG are smoked up. Nice strike array actually landing on Ferrari. Maybe they can blow him up right away. The Ferrari, though, is countered. He's going to be able to get off the BKB, almost popping the ultimate. Now revs it up. Sunbeam completely trapped there. Nothing he can do about that one. Ferrari has to wait out. BKB with the rupture on top of him. The rest of IG surrounding him, making sure he's not going to go down, even as the flames. Like 26 minutes in, 9-5. IG are just still holding such a dominant position in this game. Every single time it feels like they're sustained. It's just too much for MVP Hot 6 to force the fight.
And a double damage room picked up by Ferrari. They have the medallion for themselves. Quite easy for them to go for this Roshan. And I mean, they're just holding a line right now that MVP Hot 6 just can't cross. The fissure from Twan was way too much in that fight right now. He just even sold the Thunder God's Wrath. I didn't even notice that. As if there's an MVP for me, it's just got to be Twan. The amount of spells that he's stolen, the lifts that he's gotten to initiate the fights, he's just been a demon this game.
Absolutely. Ferrari picks up the Aegis. Now both their Phantom Lancer and their SF are well ahead in net worth over the Bloodseeker and the Lina. Lina, who is going to be still going for that Aghanim Scepter, guess she just chose to go for the Open Club first, is getting close. Another 900 gold. Perhaps things can change with the Blood Rage combination and the Aghanim Scepter that is an insane amount of pure damage on one hero. Maybe enough to be able to catch out and blow up one hero before that Shallow Grave comes in from the Dazzler, which just seems to be the saving grace every single time.
I think the problem right now for MVP Hot 6 is they don't have a reliable way to lead a fight. Like, you don't have anything that's going to break the BKB or catch him before he can get the BKB off. Maybe Jarek's getting a Blink Dagger is the best option that you have right now, because if MP uses him up in the air, Burning just pops his BKB, turns and fights. If you rupture him, then they hold the line, sit behind him with the Shallow Grave and the mech, and there's not much you can do about it.
Careful for Rev. He's running into 3 heroes, has to bounce himself back. And IG once again playing very well around that rupture, always in a defensive position. The heals to make sure that Thirst doesn't stack too much.
They don't see this charge coming, but I don't even know if he continues to go for this.
He keeps on going, and oh, Jesus, already blowing up the Jakiro. The rest of MVP Hot 6, not much they can do. They don't want to be fighting into the Aegis, so all they're going to do is try and split push with MP at the top lane, but it's not going to make much of a difference as IG take their first Tier 2 tower away from MVP.
And they're just playing such a careful, exacting game right now as MVP Hot 6. They're just not giving any room to breathe, and IG's just not taking any chances. They continue to 4-man around the map. They continue not to overextend. They play 4-man Dota over and over again. They're completely comfortable with MVP going for the split push style because it's still just Alina. Like, you can deal with her later on in the game. Even with their Aghanim Scepter, there's enough heal on your team that you're not going to feel too pressured. And Ferrari, as a result of that Aghanim Scepter, he knows it's coming. He's going to just go for pure HP with the Scotty.
And he's almost there too. One ultimate down, another one coming in soon with Burning. Already has the Reaver to build into his heart. Any bit of pop that MVP Hot 6 thought that they had, it's just not going to matter against these two cores building up so much raw HP. So they're going to have to find perhaps a trickier way to be able to win a team fight. Right now their Tier 2 tower in the middle lane is being threatened. Again, they're just going for the split push from MP, but he can't really commit to that either against the Spirit Breaker. He has to TP back.
Yeah, Lewis just using that ping pong ability of that charge to come back to that mid lane. They don't have to go for the high ground if they don't want to, because they've got wards in the MP jungle. They've got a ward right outside their bottom lane. It's so hard for MVP to leave their base without smoking up, but Jarex does have that Blink Dagger, and that's what I was talking about. They need a reliable way to initiate fights, and I don't really see how they're going to do this when IG have the vision that they have.
Well, a BKB coming in, perhaps a blood-raged up Earthshaker with the initiation of Echo Slam. The problem's still going to be that his Aftershock is only level 2, so even when he jumps in, he's only got a 0.9-second stun. That feels like enough time for the SF to be able to get off his BKB ahead of the combination of Enchant Totem and Fisher.
Oh, for sure. Right now, that Earthshaker's a little bit too underleveled to do anything about it, but MVP, they don't really have a better choice than to just turtle and hope that IG overextends right now, but IG, they're just sticking together as 4, sticking together as 3. They don't really care because they can just send Burning off to farm wherever he wants on the map, and they can feel the net worth advantage that the Shadow Fiend has over
Uh-oh, Forev, he's going to be caught here by the telekinesis. They will immediately chain stun him down. Another pick off for IG. As you said, staying grouped up as for finding the openings and Burning, just making sure that those lanes are pushed to the MVP Hot 6 side of the map. There's that Scotty. Ferrari now reaching 2,300 HP by 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd right now, the amount of farm that he has. MVP Hot 6, I mean, their stomachs are going to go cold after they see that. Is going to be quite worried about how they're going to have to deal with Ferrari at some point in the game. The Aghanim Scepter on Lina is complete, but she's still only level 13. It's not quite enough damage to be able to slice through the amount of health that he has. He has 2,300 HP with the mech boost and one Shadow Wave. It pretty much cuts the Lina ult in half for him.
Chuan, he's going to find it. Heen trying to go for the TP out, but immediately blink in from Chuan plus the telekinesis stop, and it's just inevitable at this point. Heen has got to be accepting his fate soon. His Spirit Breaker comes in, the Lance is there as well. He just backs himself up into a corner, but there is no escape.
It's a good attempt by MVP Hot 6 to split up the map because they don't have any vision. They're pretty much doing this blind, but it's the best chance that they have right now. They can't just sit in their base, wait for IG to push, because IG is the type of team that just plays that annoying style of Dota where you want them to push, and they just won't. They'll just farm out your entire jungle. They're saying to themselves, okay, this is our TI redemption time. We're not going to go out in the lower bracket. We're at least going to make it to the top 12. There's no reason for us to take any unnecessary risks, and I completely agree with them right now.
Yeah, at this point in time, what's the reasoning in trying to push uphill with only a 7,500 gold lead when you can build 10, 12, 15,000 net worth lead over the enemy before you finally push uphill, especially when you know you rather easily have the late game advantage with the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, the Phantom Lancer is always your trump card. He's your insurance policy. Anytime that you think that you're making progressive steps towards closing that net worth distance, he just continues to get far ahead. And he's got a fully completed heart, a diffusal blade, and you don't have the AoE necessary to deal with it. The Lina's kind of helpful, as is the Bloodseeker, but the Earthshaker just simply doesn't have the levels.
So what's next on Burning's agenda? Can he finish up the Boots of Travel to make sure that he can always join his team and split push at the same time? Or do you just stack even more raw HP, perhaps go for the Scotty next as well?
I think going for the Manta is a decent idea. The Yasha is just cheap damage, but the Manta can help him go into the high ground and just send illusions up one by one, but MVP Hot 6 aren't quite out of this yet. Although the situation does seem dire, they do have the dire side advantage. They can go for the Roshan. Frev does have his BKB, but their timing window is so limited now as they're just continuously getting out-farmed around the map. IG can afford to split push because they have all the vision in the world.
BKB on Forev MP. Looks like he's going to go for a BKB next. He's got the Ogre Club in hand. Not really any other items coming in for the Hot 6 team. At least not anytime soon anyway. IG, meanwhile, they've got a plethora of items that they're farming up because they are able to stay relatively split.
Yes.
Ferrari just farming out the enemy jungle. Looks like they're actually going to back up and go for smoke. They delay the deny on the tower long enough for Ferrari to get in here.
And they can just decide to go for the 5-man right now because they've built up such a lead and Burning's pinging around the map. Do they have a gem on their team? That's probably the best investment that they can make right now that would allow them to win the game, because if they can just cut off the vision from MVP, that would force them to continue to play blind, and it just makes any sort of move that they want to go for so risky.
Right, especially against the Spirit Breaker. Even just those one-off solo split pushes are easily countered. If you don't have any vision on the map, it makes it all the scarier. Speaking of the Spirit Breaker, he's got Glimmer Cape, Lads, and soon to be a BKB at this rate.
All those BKBs, it's going to be incredibly troublesome for MVP Hot 6 to fight, because if you look at it, 2 of their 3 cores depend on that magic damage. Even Brev, to a certain extent, doesn't really have physical damage to back it up. A large portion of his damage comes from that puncture, comes from that blood right. And if you take away those 2 factors, then all IG have to do is wait it out.
MP even trying to farm up the Ancients with the very little physical damage that he's rocking.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. He's almost got his B. Yeah, he's kind of close to his BKB. But
Charge coming in. Keen is the target. Turns around through the ice path. Once again, does get it off, and there's the blood right on top of that one. They changed on him pretty well. Rep now starts going for that kill with the ultimate on top of that one. Spirit Breaker takes a lot of damage, but now he's slowing down by that Scotty so much, and now he's going to be bumped by the Spirit Breaker ultimate as well. He goes down. What could have been a pickoff just proves to be too tough for MVP Hot 6 to get. And now Burning, he wants more. He's going to start charging uphill immediately to defuse the blade onto Sunbeam. He just gets ripped apart. MP, he's next online. Yule Scepter is only going to set up Ferrari for a perfect ultimate. It's Teen as well. Ultra kill godlike for Ferrari, as looks like IG are finally ready to take this to MVP Hot 6's base.
Ferrari feels so comfortable going for that blink. Blinking uphill, doesn't even care. That ultimate wasn't even necessary against Alina. He just decided to go for the style points, and I completely agree right now because IG are feeling it. They realize the advantage that they built up. They don't even have the Aegis for this push, and it doesn't even matter. It's Ferrari demonstrating his dominance over this game with a full Scotty. The data list to follow as double racks are going to go the way of IG at just 36 minutes into the game.
Pretty much a nigh unstoppable Victus Gaming. Marching through MVP Hot 6's base one by one. 2 lane of rags. At this point in the game, usually 2 lanes of rags signify such a significant advantage that it's almost impossible to come back unless it's rather late into the game. At this point, we're still very much in the mid-game. It's 36 minutes in, this game hasn't gone on that long, and yet Ferrari is almost maxed out on items.
Yeah, he could replace the mechanism, but it's still really impressive the amount of farm that he has right now. Almost nobody on MVP Hot 6 can contest him. Alina still is in level 16, and that might actually make a significant impact because that's half of his HP, but he still has the mech to work with, and MVP are smoked up. They think that IG are going to go for the Roshan